Hello, my name is Maria Monardes. I am Arteaga Orsiglia's Administration Manager. We are a Chilean medium-sized law firm, and we are focused on corporate, tax, regulatory, environmental law, and litigation and dispute resolution. We are always looking at market trends and our client needs. So before coronavirus started, 2 years, maybe a little more, we are starting investing in our technology and our platforms to become a more flexible and digitalized organization. Thanks to this, when the pandemic started, we were able to move all our work to our homes easily. The fronting with our clients was not effective. The big challenge was to maintain our personal relationships through cameras like we are right now, and making some changes in the way administrative staff was used to work. So in our case, the more important changes took place in two areas, administration and communication. In administration, we were used to use a lot of paper in some processes. The most important change was digitalizing 100% the billing process and the handling of disbursement supporting documents. So this has allowed us to get the job done wherever we are and even in better timings than before. Regarding communication, our goal was to maintain a fluid communication and good communication with our clients, but also inside the company. The digital conference softwares have been a key tool to maintain this fluid communication inside, not only for working meetings, but also giving continuity to some important human resources tools that we have developed, like the coaching every lawyer receives from his team leader monthly, and of course, all the meetings of practices that they do daily and weekly. Another very important outcome of implementing digital communication is that it has allowed us to keep the sense of belonging and caring inside our firm, making online meetings also space to cheer up the ones that need it. So this family spirit creates a very good and healthy internal environment, and our clients can sense and appreciate this. Our job is to understand our clients' need and give them creative and good solutions, and that can only be achieved with good communication and our internal strength, our people. So that's our secret. Thank you very much for inviting us to participate. See you. Bye.
I'm Rod Yonker. I'm the CEO of Summit Law Group in the Pacific Northwest in the city of Seattle. And I've been asked to talk to you today about some ways in which the pandemic has changed our firm and hopefully for the better. And what I want to share with you is not so much an innovation, but really more of a realization. It has to do with the value of remote work and the possibility of using that as a future part of our business strategy. Prior to the pandemic, we were, I think, completely against the concept, particularly among our staff people, of having people try and do legal work remotely. And I think the pandemic has caused us to come 180 degrees on that and actually embrace the idea of remote work, not just for attorneys, but also for staff as part of our permanent business strategy. When the pandemic struck last year, we had a couple days time to organize ourselves and take everybody off into the remote ethosphere. And our experience with that has been remarkably pleasing. We've had very, very few problems with productivity or reliability for many of our staff. And in fact, I would say less problems than we probably have had in an office environment in the past. And in my practice of advising people who've been going through the same things, our clients have had very, very few problems to bring back as well. And our lawyers tell us that they want to keep doing this when it's done. And it's become obvious that allowing people to work from somewhere other than the office environment solves a number of pressure points that we have on our business. I think maybe sooner than some of you, we were forced to confront the idea of, well, what happens after the pandemic? Do we bring everybody back to the office, or do we continue on with some combination of work from home, work from afar, work from the office. And that last answer is what we have embraced. We are intentionally incorporating into our design strategy that we're not going to have an office for everybody, and that we don't think that we need that. Instead, we need some flexible spaces that people can use and share in hoteling arrangements and the like. Implementing this, I think, is something that we've spent a good deal of time on. And I guess the tips I have for you from that perspective are, we chose to give our staff a real role in defining what a new work model would look like. And so in terms of kind of coming up with what hours and what availability in the office is going to be in bounds, we really put that back on the staff and on the attorneys that they're working with to kind of manage that universe for us. We've worked hard on the attorneys to stay away from reflexively saying, no, my assistant can't work from home. I need him or her present in the office. And I think that the fact that our attorneys have had this experience and succeeded with it has made that relatively easy. Technology is going to be a big part of our solution. When we sent people home for COVID, we made those who were working on desktop computers take them home. That's obviously a big barrier to having people split time between home and our office. And our cybersecurity protocols don't allow people to access our network from a machine that we don't own. And so part of making this a reality will require that we invest in some more laptops and outfit our staff with the same kind of computer setups that those of us who spend time on the road have always had. We do plan to, if not flat out require, then come pretty darn close that everybody spends some amount of time in the office. We think that's an important part of our firm culture. And while we're at work trying to find other ways to maintain that culture virtually, we still think that having people present at some part of their work life is an important thing for us to try and balance. And so that's what we're promoting. So I hope that's helpful to some of you, and I hope you're staying safe and sane in this very confusing year. Thank you.
Hello, my name's Tanya Byrne. I'm head of business development and marketing for Edwin Co. We're based in London, and I'm here today to talk to you about a COVID innovation. This session will be quite short, and I'll be covering adapting to webinars and the value that they can create for you. So we found ourselves in this pandemic, and at Edwin Co, based in our London office, we used to run probably up to over 200 client-facing events in a year. So we go into a lockdown here in the UK, and we were unable to reach any of our people face-to-face, any of our clients or our referrer bases or any of our contacts. So we were left with a situation of, well, we felt a bit voiceless in a way. We were, as a firm at Edwin Co, we'd adopted Zoom as our online meeting function, our virtual meeting function. So I got an enhanced package on Zoom to have a Zoom webinar function. So I had the ability to go for longer than an hour and to have up to 300 people on any of my calls. So once I realized this, webinars were going to be quite a big part of the marketing activity during the lockdown and the pandemic, we also then reached out to bodies that we were members of, people that we worked with in the past, that we'd done joint events with in the past. We worked with them, and in the end we had invitations to appear on other people's webinars. We invited people to do joint webinars with us. So we had an array of different types of webinars that we instigated all of last year. I wanted to just share to you another side of what we did with our webinars. Because we were using Zoom and the GoToWebinar tool, we have the ability to record our webinars. So what we did with our webinars, which were relevant, we recorded them and then we would post them up on our website post-event. So people still had the ability to go in after our events and actually listen to the recording of the webinar. We also then posted them on YouTube. We quite easily set up an Edwin Co YouTube page, and we're starting to go through all of them now. We've just done the most recent ones, but we posted them on YouTube. And once we've posted them on YouTube, we also posted them on some podcast streaming platforms. Again, you might find that quite strange that people are accessing podcast or streaming platforms to hear updates on legal situations or issues, but it is, I think, a growing area. I'm not certain how much it will take off, but again, we're just going with it at the moment. It's just for us another extension of where to post the video recording of our webinar that we've already done. So it's just an extension. It's not many extra steps for us to do. We did find Zoom the easiest product, so much so we've stopped using the other product we had, which was GoToWebinar. Again, all good webinars need to have a really good subject that is of interest to an external audience, which is obviously what you're hoping to do. If you've got relationships with other people you would normally have done a seminar with, see if they're happy to do a joint one with you. Adding webinars to your toolkit does allow your audience flexibility on whether to watch the webinar from home if they're working from home, or to actually watch it from the office. It really doesn't matter where they are when they're watching your webinar. So again, webinars do give a lot more flexibility to your audience base. And just to say, I do think webinars are here to stay. So they're definitely part of the Edwin Co marketing toolkit moving forward. Hopefully you'll also do that evaluation for your own marketplace and jurisdiction, and hopefully it will work for you as well. We're here in the UK. I'm more than happy to talk you through in a little bit more detail if you need to, the decisions we went through to help us and the successes we've had so far. So thank you for listening.
Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, wherever in the world you are. I am here to talk about the pandemic and how it's changed our firm and how it's not all that bad. And again, also, I'm not an expert, but this is what I know from living through being in management of a law firm in Denver, Colorado. I am Stephanie Lochner. I work at Moy White. We are one office strong in Denver. As you know, and many of us are dealing with, we all have our own issues, experiences, and different ways in terms of which we are going to feel comfortable coming back into the office and finding our post-pandemic life. But what Moy White is committed to is keeping our culture strong. And this is a great exercise to reflect upon the past year in terms of what we have done to problem solve, to address our employees, our clients, and how we want to roll out any strategic vision of what Moy White's going to be post-pandemic. So one issue we hit really off the bat, and we engaged an outside consultant to do that, was to create a culture of health. And this culture of health was developed because Moy White has strong core values. Everybody has core values on their desk, but nobody's at their desk. But we have, had done retreats, and we have done things around our core values. And now we've added a layer of a culture of health. So this culture of health, there are two aspects to it. One is for employees and how we support each other. And one is outward facing to be provided, and was initially provided in the early pandemic to outsiders that were coming into the office for different reasons of business. So we wanted to make sure that when people are welcome to Moy White, that they are on sort of a culture of health, and realize that's an important aspect to us, and it will continue to be. We also feel strongly that there is a mental health component to moving forward and how we move forward as an organization. And recognizing a lot of talk about mental health. We want to be able to erase the stigma and realize that this is something that is going to be also supported with our employees. The next aspect of what's really going well, and where I think we have found a silver lining, is marketing and our web content. So initially we did almost post something every day, and we got a lot more attorneys involved in terms of producing content. I know that when I was first asked to draft and create content, I thought to myself, that's just something I don't have time to do. But really what we've proven is you can take what you're working on in your everyday, and you can, post it, and it becomes very relevant, and it will be relevant to other people, and it doesn't have to be long, but talk about how you know it. And again, maybe you're not an expert, but you are somebody that is a resource. And so if we can be a resource to our clients, and even if we can remind our clients about things that are going on that they're not thinking about without having to actually call and pick up the phone, although that's exactly what we all should be doing as well. This content and this marketing aspect has been a great post-pandemic hopefully strategy in terms of how we will approach our clients and our web presence. The next, I think, wonderful thing that's come out of COVID is the Zoom backgrounds. So this is the one we came up with right away. And I see this being an evolving way to market. I think Zoom is, I think once we get over the fatigue, it is a great way to connect, and it's a great way to connect with your clients. I have been using it actually more than I was initially so that I can make that connection with clients. And when I'm showing up now on networking events online, when I'm showing up for these types of presentations, I'm using my Zoom background for my office. And it's a great way to uniform the experience. Zoom is a good way to connect when you might not otherwise connect. I know for sure that many of us have only service clients over the phone, right? We're emailing and we're phone calls. So I want to encourage Zoom. I want to encourage any, camera background. This is giving us a opportunity that we didn't take advantage of pre-COVID, and I think we all should consider working this through our business development, and also when we're talking to our own colleagues. So maybe when we all come back, we're all on a hybrid, but we should really work and consistently work to meet and greet people so that we're seeing their faces, we're seeing smiles, we are talking about things outside of work so that we build that camaraderie again that we have maybe lost a little bit during the pandemic. So I hope, some of that helps all of us diversify what we're able to do in terms of attorneys and how we are able to reach out and service our clients. With that, thank you very much for giving me the opportunity to talk today. I'm always online, unfortunately, and happy to connect with anybody and answer questions or just talk about, what's working for you, what's not working for you, and how we can all collaborate together. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Ramona from WH Partners in Malta. So how has this pandemic changed us? And is it all that bad? Well, at WH Partners, the pandemic helped us to fully embrace our digital transformation as a firm, from remote working to universal adoption of DocuSign and firm-wide use of digital tools such as Microsoft Teams, SharePoint, and Zoom. We've all become experts. Once the pandemic started, our immediate priority was the safety of our team. Thus, we decided to close our physical offices and implement remote working. The IT infrastructure for working from home was already in place. As a result, the transition was done smoothly and our clients didn't really experience any interruptions. We had the infrastructure. The pandemic just gave us that extra push to go forward with it. Currently, we are using flexible hybrid or working from home model, which allows our employees to work remotely from home and also from their home countries, because we have a number of employees who come from different European countries and they were also able to go home to their country and work from home. And also having employees that are working at the office. This model allows both for social distancing and prevents cross-contamination, whilst offering more flexibility to team members. By having a strict roster in place and complying with COVID-19 measures at all times, we successfully prevented COVID-19 transmission at the office, despite having some colleagues who tested positive in different moments in time. We also prioritize a seamless and smooth transition for our clients. This became relevant. Meetings are taking place online. We are traveling less. We have an almost universal adoption of DocuSign for electronic signatures that helped us streamline signature processes and eliminate any challenges that might arise from remote working or self-isolation or having clients located in any part of the world. Using a tool for e-signatures saves time, effort, whilst also strengthening our commitments towards our environmental protection by reducing paper consumption. The feedback we received from our colleagues and clients was overwhelmingly positive. From a marketing point of view, our focus shifted to online content. We're using more webinars, online conferences, and video content. And finally, whilst we are eager to return back to our normality, we know that some of the go-to resources and solutions pushed by the pandemic are here to stay and change the way we used to do business, work, communicate, and interact with our clients. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Sarah Batten from BHBC in Anchorage, Alaska, also known as Birch, Horton, Bittner, and Chirot. Today's topic is the pandemic changed us and it's not all bad. About 6 months prior to the pandemic, BHBC had made the decision to invest a lot of money in remote virtual technology. And it turns out with the pandemic, that investment has really paid off. Within days of being ordered to stay home, our IT department had everyone in the office up and running from their homes. And I am not a tech savvy person, so I find this completely amazing that I can be on my laptop at home and see everything that's on my desktop in the office and have access to all those programs. It's amazing. We also implemented an alternating work schedule for the staff so that there would always be someone in the office during work hours who can move the paperwork and take care of the other tasks that you really need to be in the office to do. And of course, Zoom. Before the pandemic, I had never even heard of Zoom. And now Zoom is pretty much a part of our everyday practice. We even did a Zoom wine tasting this year for the employees as a happy hour because we weren't seeing anybody. And so we were having some need to communicate and stay in touch. And so now we're hoping to offer a Zoom wine tasting in the near future to our clients. So that's another benefit. The pandemic was another opportunity to adapt to changed circumstances and continue to learn. And we learned that people like working from home, even if it's just some of the time. And being able to work remotely has opened up the freedom to work wherever they are, including Hawaii, Arizona, Mexico, wherever you have an internet connection. This has led to two results. First, there's actually been higher productivity. In fact, one of the shareholders was telling us that she found she was more productive working from home than in the office. And she would never have thought that or discovered it but for the pandemic. And secondly, employees are having a happier work-life balance. Not only the attorneys, but the staff. It turns out that people like working in their pajamas and they like being with their pets or having their children nearby or getting chores done between projects at work on their work breaks. I know that I, for one, found myself being not only productive with work, but getting house chores done. I would finish one work project and before starting the next one, go run and throw in a load of laundry or then do a load of dishes. And at the end of the day, not only was I done with work, but I was done with my chores. So that was kind of nice. And I think that many other people share that, being able to have multitasking, really get things done at home and at work. For 2 years in a row, BHBC has been voted one of the best places to work in Alaska, and we hope to continue that tradition. So with the belief that happy employees lead to higher work quality and higher work satisfaction, BHBC plans to continue allowing remote working and alternating schedules for staff even after everything opens back up and this pandemic has passed. BHBC hopes to remain cutting edge with flexibility and using technology to get work done and to have fun doing it. Above all, BHBC wants to foster productivity and long-term and sustained workplace happiness. Like all of you, we look forward to being on the other side of this pandemic. And I personally look forward to seeing your faces, meeting again in person, and raising a glass in happy hour. And I miss you. And to that end, everybody, I hope you have a great day, and thank you.
Hi, my name is Courtney Master. I am co-chair of the real estate group at Mutt Shellist and the firm's marketing partner. I transitioned into the marketing partner role during the pandemic. We also brought on a new director of strategy and marketing, Bree Leung. That was a new role that the firm created during this time. As a firm, we were very active on the marketing front during the pandemic. We saw it as an opportunity to evaluate our strategies and to prepare for the future. Before the pandemic, we had this beautiful, cool new office space that was very much designed, taking into account our culture and ways to make the office inviting to collaborate internally and with clients. As part of the office space, we designed our Much Hub. The Much Hub was intended to be a unique space among law firms. The innovative design and format was well researched and proven effective for collaboration, culture, and creating new ideas. When the pandemic hit, with remote working, we realized we needed a fun digital version of the Much Hub. People were feeling disconnected from the firm and one another. We needed a tool to keep the firm connected and to help employees find information, as well as keep everyone in the loop on announcements, recognitions, and the like. And this leads us to what we refer to as our eHub.
So our eHub is essentially an intranet. And well, we know a lot of law firms have intranets. We had an intranet prior to this eHub as well. But our intranet was really quite static. Most people didn't really access it for information the way that you would hope people would. And it was really only used for limited needs. But really what we came up with was this one place, this one-stop shop for firm announcements and information, access to administrative department forms and materials, a way for people to engage and connect with one another around culture initiatives like D&I and wellness and our women professionals. Decided to use Microsoft SharePoint as our platform with Microsoft Yammer integration. And what that did for us was create a place that has separate administrative owners who can update their content very easily on the fly so that content information is always updated and current. It's this, again, kind of one-stop shop that people can now go to at the homepage for anything that's news around new hires, new deals, articles that have been published or put out, announcements, really a way for us to broadcast critical information that has been certainly very essential during the pandemic. It's been a great way to spotlight team members, spotlight announcements and great things that the firm has doing, which I think from a morale perspective is really important, as well as we've been remote and detached and disconnected from one another. It's a place to go, feel informed, feel like you're connected with your colleagues, and feel like you are part of, remember that you're part of the bigger picture and the bigger culture of Much.
People are having fun with our eHub. Not just sharing deal information as Bree had indicated, or firm announcements, but people are sharing recipes, they're sharing workouts, they're sharing personal activities that they're doing and have done during the pandemic.
We knew all along that leadership support and cross-departmental collaboration was going to be really, really critical to the success. We knew that it couldn't just be a marketing project. It was marketing sponsored between myself and Courtney and our marketing team members, but it definitely was a collaboration with other administrative groups and with firm leadership to make sure that this is something that we had the support for, that we were hitting the multiple needs and requirements of various stakeholders across the firm.
I think our eHub is here to stay. I think we will continue to work on it. We'll make it bigger. We'll continue to improve and add features. And it will, just like anything else, like our physical Much Hub, will be part of our culture.
Thank you all for giving us this spotlight. We hope that we may have inspired or given you some ideas. If you've got any questions for those of us at Much about our eHub, we're always happy to share some of our lessons learned or give any kind of perspective that would be helpful.
Thank you, Ally Law.
Hi, I'm Alfonso Gonzalez from Cornejo Mendez, a firm located in Mexico City, and I want to share with you our experience regarding the pandemic. we invest in to improve our infrastructure in IT. And the pandemic was a trigger to accelerate that change. Our four axes in this modification was hardware, software, web access, and security through a VPN. The same way was with the software, with all that platforms online for meetings like Zoom, WebEx, Microsoft Teams, were implemented into our offices and spread among all our employees. Right now, we have 80% of our personnel is working remotely in homework. We have the software, we have trained our personnel in that softwares, and also we modify our internet provider services, IPS. And now we have redundant services, not one, but two ISP providers. So that assures us to, in case of one fail, the other one comes cover and failover in a failover. So on that structure, we guarantee the totally connectivity, 100% connectivity regarding these meetings or any work that requires connection through the internet. Finally, the security, all our communication was made through a VPN, communication with clients, because confidential and sensitive matters are handled in these days through online. So VPN assures us totally, completely privacy and protect data protection for all the information traveling to the net. Thank you and stay safe. And we hope in the near future I hope sincerely to meet you personally in the next Alelo reunions. Thank you very much.